Married to Medicine, darling. LA. Let's get into it. Okay, so who we got? Okay, coming off from where we left off last week, we have Dr. Britten, Dr. Imani, and Shanique. They're sitting around in a circle talking. And, it left off with Dr. Imani saying that this looked like a drug dealer house. Talk about Jasmine's home. Now, the girl's been knowing Jasmine a while. I think that Shanique has probably been knowing Jasmine the longest. And they've been knowing Jasmine like a year and some change. Now, mind you, ain't none of the ladies ever met Jasmine's husband. Never seen him, nothing. But she's standing in this big old mansion. Now, at first when Dr. Imani said this looked like a drug dealer house, I did not get it, like the reference, but I get it now. Dr. Britten, she was just like, yeah, it has a very Tony Montana type of feel, very Scarface, very old Hollywood kind of moments. It's very expensive, huge house. It definitely looks like you're doing more than a doctor's thing, and even a lot of the ladies confirm that even on the doctor's salary, I don't care how much you make, you're not staying here. Like, it's very odd, and it's odd to me that, seeing as how her husband is not there as much, Jasmine's husband, why would you even want to stay in a house that big by yourself? I would be scared. Like, I would be totally just, I don't know. I'd be paranoid about stuff like that. I'll start to hear stuff. It's too many rooms. It's too many closets. It's too many hiding places. Too many windows. It's too much. But that's just me. But, whatever. I guess she alright. I guess she's safe. But, there was a slightly rude kind of comment to make. But, I mean, it is a little odd. And ain't nobody, we've been knowing you about a year and a half, 2 years, and ain't nobody seen your husband, ain't nobody met your husband, ain't nobody. And you stay in this big old house by itself, and he do what now? I mean, we was all kind of thinking it, but Imani just said it, child. What else is going on? Dr. Britten, she had a scene with her husband, on Skype or whatever. And, they're talking, and, her husband and kids are about to move to LA when they find the right home for it. He wants to stay in the suburbs. She wants to stay in the city because if she stays in the city, it'll be closer to her job. And he wants the suburbs because he likes the nice, quiet life, etc., etc. I definitely see both sides of the coin. It's very much so Curtis and Dr. Jackie situation. I'm more of a suburbs type of individual. I don't mind the city, but if I come to the city, it'll just be for work purposes, and also, just to party and eat good and, all the fun stuff and all the necessary stuff. But when it comes time for my home, I want peace, I want quiet, I don't want a lot of people, I want space, I want room, I just want to live out every fantasy that I can. And with me living out my fantasies, I need to have room and space to run and skip upon the meadows. So, I definitely get it, and I get both sides of the coins, but, he's very adamant about this whole entire thing. He's kind of working her nerves, and, there was even clips of her being at different houses and her, showing him the houses and all this kind of stuff, and, I don't know the arrangement, I don't know, but it just seems like to me that he would, since this is something that's going to affect him as well, that he would somehow take out the time to go with her on these house hunting festivities or something. Like get somebody to watch the kids or bring the kids along. I don't know, because he's super picky, and I was just like, ooh, child, he's working the nerve a little bit, Let's see, what else happened? Shanique, we got to see her kids a little more. Shanique's daughter looks like her in the face, but she just has the husband's complexion, and the little boy looked just like the husband. Cute kids. Her daughter is she talked about bullying. You know, she had to deal with mean girls at, you know, at one point during school, and, you know, being a teenager and stuff. And it's definitely hard. It's definitely, you know, a lot to go through. The husband came in and they was talking, and he was just like, the way you deal with the bullies, you just slam them on the head. Apparently he slammed somebody on the head, but I'm just like, I understand that, Dr. Roberts, and I feel you on that advice. But sometimes you do got to take it to that bully's ass for him to leave you alone. But see, that's how these little girl situation. Take it to her ass, drop her on her head, I guess. But I mean, you know, just get ready to get some days out of school. As long as y'all are ready for expulsion, then, you know, it's fine. As long as somebody go and pick up her work on the days that she done missed. Because if she dropping people's on the heads, you know. She was just like, some people are, you know, rude and mean and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. And, you know, they probably go to a private school and all. So, being the few little black kids there, I'm sure, of course. Of course it's something, you know. Speaking of that, Dr. Noel, we got to see her daughter, who's beautiful. You know, she went to a public school for the majority of her younger years, and now she's transitioning to junior high school, and it's a private school. So they have to wear uniforms, all that kind of stuff, and you know, she's fine with it, with going to a private school, but like I said, she's never been there, so it's going to be quite a culture shock to really stand out, because like I said, she's going to be one of the few black kids at the school. You know, I understand wanting more for your kids. I understand having your kids in private school, etc. I get all that. But it's also equally as important to show your kids the real, show your kids how other kids that look like you are not living like you, to just be well-rounded in all areas, but especially in your blackness. I feel like that's just very important, because no matter who your friends is, no matter, you know, where you stay at, what school you go to, none of that. The world is gonna always remind you that your ass is black, for sure. And you know, so hell, I mean, I was watching a video of Ming Lee, Kimora and Russell Simmons' daughter, talking about how one of her classmates, this white guy, keep calling her a nigga and stuff. So, you know, it happens all the way around. You know, no matter, you know, all your friends, you go to the school, etc., they some of them still think they're better than you. Okay, no matter how much, you can have more money than them, it don't matter. Your skin is black, so you're beneath me. Not everybody and not all cases, but I'm just saying, it's real life and it's true. So, you know, we're going to see a scene of Dr. Noel's daughter when she's, you know, going to be crying to Noel, saying that none of the kids look like me and all that. And it's hard for a parent to hear. You want the best for your kids. You want your kids to have the best education possible, the best start at life if possible, you know. But hey, life is life. Whether you live a privileged life or a not so privileged life, we all go through a lot of the same similar stuff. So, let's see. Asha went on an audition for Days of Our Lives, a good old talk show, child. And you know, she's auditioning for a role, and there you go. She meets with the director of Days of Our Lives, or the casting director, yes. And you know, they're talking, and you know, she reads off a script, you know, part of it, and he reads it back to her. You know, they're just going back and forth as if they're in the scene. And so she reads her part, and I thought she did well. But then he gonna tell her, oh, he wants her to make it more sassy, which basically means nigga it up a little bit, make it a little bit more black. And she says it's something that us black women in Hollywood hear all the time, and it's true. They want the sister girl. They want all the attitude. That's what they want. You know, until you give it to them, you know, outside of work, and then it's an issue. Then you're aggressive. Then you're too much. Then you're ghetto. Then you're all this and you're all that. You know, they love to make caricatures out of black people. They love it. Love good old stereotypes. They love it. Shit, some actors have made their whole career off stereotypes. Hell, so I mean, what are you gonna do? Just create your own, direct your own, produce your own. You know, change that narrative. That's all you can do. But she did it, and she didn't go all the way hood, but you know, it was a little bit more animation to it, and it was just enough. And he said, "Great, great, that's all I wanted." He was like, "Oh, there was an issue. There was a reason why I asked for that." And I'm just like, "Yeah." Wait till she get to the set. They're gonna ask for more and more and more until she completely turned into Bonquisha. What else is going on? Imani and Britten, you know, they're talking. Imani wanted to have a come to Jesus moment with all the girls. So after she done said that Jasmine basically stay in the drug house, she want to have a come to Jesus moment with all the girls. And I'm just like, well, Imani, how you think this is gonna work, sis? So, you know, all the girls are arriving. We have Jasmine and Shanique in the car together. Of course, Shanique told Jasmine what Imani said about her. Of course. I don't know why Imani was shocked by that. You know that's a homegirl. You know she gonna tell her. I mean, okay. So they got there, and Britten and Imani, well, before the girls arrived, Britten and Imani, they're talking. And they're basically discussing, you know, how Britten's husband is acting, and, you know, he is somewhat resenting her at this moment. But they brought up something very true. They was just like, if it was Britten, Dr. Britten, the female in this situation, when she was at home with the kids, take care of the kids, that would be normal, and that would be fine, and that would be what she's supposed to do. But since the tides have turned, and since it's the man that's doing that, and the woman is out working, nah, it's an issue. But, you know, with that said, you know, I see both sides, but that's his kids too. So everything that a typical mother would do for their kids, the father should be doing for their kids as well. But, you know, because we live in a society where at times the father's not there or not around, you know, because of whatever reason. And, you know, most of the time all the responsibility lands back on the mother. So, you know, now we're seeing a different situation here on TV, on good old Bravo. And now it's shocking for people. But, I mean, it's either way, you know, we breaking down those good old barriers or whatever. But hopefully they all end up coming together and finding a house soon. Because that's difficult, for sure. So all the girls arrived there. You know, Jasmine was heated. She was mad as hell about what Imani said about her. Imani asked for a hug from Jasmine. She was just like, nope, I'm not giving you a hug. Now, in that moment, I was just like, okay, finally a real moment. Because I cannot stand on these shows when these girls clearly have issues with one another. And then they hug and try to act like ain't nothing wrong. But then they finally sit down and, you know, argue. It's just like, no, and no, and no. I'm mad at you right now. I don't want to be around you, but I'm forced to be here because of the contract. So, therefore, but I still don't have to act like I'm happy to see you and all that. So I was just like, finally, a real moment on reality TV. I was like, okay. So all the girls sat down. Jasmine was just like, I don't understand. Like, how are we going to sit here and talk about sisters, hood, and this and that when you was just now talking about me? So all the girls get up and go off to the side. And so they decided, you know, talk. Shanique was very much so on this whole insecurity thing as far as with Asha and the girl, saying the older girl wasn't thinking about you, and Asha was just like, yeah, but y'all called her over there. It was a whole topic of discussion, and Britten was just like, no, Dr. Heavenly did that. And Dr. Heavenly did. She went on the show to stir up the mess and bring a little bit of drama to the show, and it worked. So yeah, and Asha said, what she said to me was that she let her know that she is coming, so you can decide to come or not. But with that said, if Asha decided not to go to Robert's birthday party, that would have gave Shanique something else to say. Shanique would have been like, oh, well, she's running scared from that girl. Oh, she's insecure. Like, either way, whether Asha showed up or not, it was going to be some mess. Because that's what you wanted, Shanique, because you ain't got nothing else to do. So, you know, I mean, either way, it was going to be some drama with the Anissa girl. Because, you know, and I don't know why Shanika's on this whole thing of Asha ruined her party. How did Asha ruin your party? Asha got up and left. Now, Asha, I'm going to have to give it to you a little bit. One thing that you do that I don't like, and so Shanique, she brung up the whole thing. She was just like, well, there's more tea. That, did you get with your husband like 6-7 years ago? Uh-huh. Well, he was still on and off with her. And saying 4 years ago, actually, they were still messing around. Or in a relationship or in some kind of situationship. So, the girls was just like, so what you saying? That he cheated on Asha in the past? Now, from the scenes from next week, it looks like Asha knew about the cheaterization from her husband. And they just swept it under the rug. She let it go and still decided to marry that man. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong. We're going to see. But, yeah, she brought that up, and Asha was going around the room talking about, Dr. Britten, are you going to stand for that? Jasmine, get your friend. Imani, what you think about it? It's just like, girl, she's talking to you. Deal with you. Deal with her. Why aren't you bringing these other ladies into it? I think she has a hard time sticking up for herself sometimes. I think that Asha's kind of sort of one of them people that she can't really express through words how she's feeling. So when she get real mad, she instantly want to fight. Maybe. That's kind of how I am sometimes. It's hard for me to express my feelings. Once I've got to a certain level with you, I'm done talking. Because it's just like, obviously, you're not trying to get it. You're not trying to understand it. You don't want to understand it. And so it's just best for me to walk off from you. You know, now don't walk up behind me and don't, you know, touch me and none of that. Then it's for sure might be destructive moment, a hostile workplace moment. It could possibly be that. But you know, love, peace, and soul as always. But yeah, Asha ended up getting up and leaving, child. And it was just like, Asha, where you going, girl? We still got the film. Asha, you can't keep leaving every scenes now. Shanique ain't nobody, child, for you to be leaving over and be all upset over. Bump Shanique, child. A mess. So we gonna see. Next week is when they're actually gonna get into why Imani said that Jasmine's house looked like a drug dealer house. I think that is just too much house though for 2 people and 1 baby. I really, really do. I understand it. I genuinely don't. But hey, it is what it is. With that said, I'm Mr. Chalaka. Mr. Chalaka on Google Plus. Follow me at Excuse-Me on Instagram and Twitter, at Excuse-Me89 on Snapchat, Chisky on Facebook, Mr. Chalaka, Cash App, and PayPal. Run me my money or run me my fame. Run me my money the way I get paid. I love you so much. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later.